If you're young, ambitious, and just frankly completely tired of being lied to about money and success, this is for you. Here's the harsh truth we've really got to confront. Society loves to push this narrative that you should just, accept a normal life. Average pay, maybe one nice vacation a year if you're incredibly lucky. And if you dare to want more than that, wow, you get shamed. People call you greedy. But honestly, what's genuinely greedy is a system designed to keep you stuck at the very bottom while the wealthy enjoy a life of total freedom. So today, we're breaking down a structured, 5-stage process from self-made multimillionaire Mark Tilbury to actually getting rich and building real wealth while you're still young. But right out of the gate, we run into a major roadblock.
Modern wealth building suffers from a massive paralysis of choice. I mean, think about it. Everyone online is shouting something totally different at you. Is it dropshipping? Do you buy crypto? What about day trading? It leaves you completely frozen, right? Because there are just so many options, and you're terrified of picking the wrong one. But here's the secret. Life is not a multiple choice test in school where there's only one right answer. There are actually multiple right choices. But, and this is a huge but, if you're too scared to pick a path, life is going to pick one for you. And trust me, if you let the system choose for you, it is going to make absolutely sure that you stay broke.
Seriously, let this quote sink in for a second. If you aren't building your own dream, then someone else will hire you to build theirs. Listen, nobody is waking up in the morning thinking about how to make you rich. The only person who's ever going to prioritize your success is you. This perfectly exposes the absolute trap of settling for an average life. Taking control of your financial destiny, it isn't just a nice idea, it is completely non-negotiable.
So, here is the 5-stage blueprint we're covering today. First, escaping the drifter trap. Second, the power of obsession. Third, discovering the cheat code. Fourth, accelerating through the grind. And finally, achieving true financial freedom. Let's dive right into Stage 1.
Stage 1. Escaping the drifter trap and the true cost of doing nothing.
So drifting is step 1, and it's an absolute trap. People stuck in this phase simply float through life. They let things happen to them instead of, grabbing the steering wheel. They just drift from one dead-end job or one half-hearted side hustle to the next, crossing their fingers and hoping they'll magically strike it big. Like maybe they'll find a winning lottery ticket blowing in the wind or something. The problem is their actions simply do not match their ambitions. They might say they want to be rich, but then they comfort themselves with lies like, well, money doesn't buy happiness anyway. A drifter is permanently stuck here. So to move up this ladder and actually progress toward freedom, you have got to break out of the drift.
That brings us to Stage 2, the power of obsession. Making the single choice. Because escaping that drifter phase really comes down to one radical mental shift.
You literally have to choose to stop being pushed around by the current of life and instead become completely, undeniably obsessed with getting rich. I meet so many young people who say they want to be rich, but then they also want to learn the acoustic guitar, run an ultramarathon, and become fluent in conversational Japanese by Tuesday. Honestly, that's arrogant goal setting. Becoming rich is something only a tiny, tiny percentage of the population ever achieves. So why do you think you can reach it while chasing 12 other goals at the exact same time? To join that wealthy percentage, you have to become the obsessed goal setter. You've got to lock in exclusively on getting rich in these early years.
Which leads into Stage 3, discovering the cheat code and finding your proven pathway. Because let's face it, obsession alone isn't quite enough. You need a vehicle.
See, the real world pays you in proportion to the value you provide. The reason you aren't rich yet, it's simply that you currently lack value in the marketplace. Ouch, I know, but here is the really good news. You don't actually have to be an innovator. You don't need to sit in your bedroom and invent a revolutionary app or find the next crypto coin before it rockets to the moon. You really just need to copy a proven pathway that is already working right now for other people.
We're talking about high-income skills here. Things like video editing, dropshipping, deal negotiating, short-form content creation, or even starting an eBay store. These are actionable pathways that you can start mastering right now to instantly increase your value to the market. But the big question is, how do you master them quickly without wasting years of your life? Well, consider the Saturday model shop strategy from our source material. When the creator was in his 20s, way before opening his own radio-controlled model shop, he didn't just sit around and guess how to do it. He went out and got a Saturday job at a local model shop. He wasn't there just to collect an hourly wage. He was there acting like an absolute sponge, soaking up the owner's successful business blueprint, chatting with customers, and finding out exactly what worked and what didn't. He essentially downloaded the cheat code for running that specific business.
And you can do the exact same thing with literally any high-income skill today. You just need to find mentors, people who are already a few steps ahead of you so you can skip their costly mistakes. And listen, you don't need famous million-dollar gurus on yachts. Find mentors hanging out in Discord communities, interacting on Instagram, or even networking at local sports clubs. Find them, study them, and uncover their proven pathway.
Stage 4, accelerating through the grind. It's time for practice and brutal feedback.
This is where you really have to put your head down. You have to start practicing your new skill. And honestly, you have to be totally willing to suck at it at first. If it's a service, do some free work. If it's a store, launch it and fully expect a rocky start. But to accelerate, practice isn't enough. You absolutely need feedback. And here's the harsh truth about that. Feedback from family and friends is basically useless. They love you, they want to protect your feelings, and frankly, they probably don't have the experience to give you actual business advice anyway. Relying on them just leads to stagnation. Instead, you've got to actively seek out constructive, even brutal criticism from outside your bubble. Find strangers or mentors who can actually spot those blind spots holding you back. Now, this inevitably leads to what's known as the lonely chapter. This is a pretty brutal period where you start to outgrow your childhood friends because they don't share your intense ambitions, but you aren't quite successful enough yet to hang out with the millionaires you look up to. Our source shared this really powerful story about his own son who skipped university to grind away at a videography hustle. For a couple of years, he completely lost contact with old friends and just put in the reps, totally alone. It's a strange, isolating middle ground, and sadly, it's exactly where most people end up giving up.
To survive this isolation without throwing in the towel, you have got to find people in the trenches with you. Actively join communities of people who are chasing success and leveling up right alongside you. I'm telling you, the motivation you get from peers who are grinding just as hard as you are is infinitely more valuable than just watching tutorials all alone in your room.
Finally, Stage 5, achieving true financial freedom. You are the asset. Pushing through that lonely chapter finally brings you to the finish line. But watch out, because there's a massive trap waiting for you here too.
There is a massive, fundamental difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich is making some money and then immediately blowing $1,000 on the newest iPhone or some flashy designer clothes just to impress people. Truly wealthy people are incredibly disappointed when they see young earners do this. Being wealthy, on the other hand, means taking that money and reinvesting it, even if it's just $200 back into new skills, businesses, and passive investments like index funds or stocks.
Because the ultimate takeaway of this whole explainer is this. You are the asset. You are the one holding company you will manage for your entire life. Your own skills compound exactly like money in a bank account does. And the best part? No one can ever take them away from you.
That is exactly why, even after reaching total financial freedom, truly wealthy people still dedicate at least 2 hours every single day to reading, watching educational content, and just learning. Consistently investing in your own mind and your own skills guarantees the absolute highest return on investment you will ever get in your life.
So I'll leave you with this question. Are you spending to impress today, or are you reinvesting to build your future? Every single dollar or hour you waste on meaningless things right now is literally stolen directly from your future self. It's time to stop drifting, choose your obsession, and start building. Thank you for joining me for this explainer, Focus Learners. Take this blueprint, find your pathway, and I'll catch you in the next one.